Hey everybody, happy Homebrew Wednesday. It's Brad here. Got the SJ Porr challenge beer going on, experiment, whatever you want to call it, today. And I'll just do you a quick rundown of what I got going on here. Let me flip this around. You can see there's the grains, big old bag. And then here's my hydrometer and some other stuff, World Flock, yeast nutrient. What I did was add to the base recipe. There's instead of using American or English, I use Canadian malting Canada 2-row. 4 pounds of that, 4 pounds of Mary solder, 2 pounds of German wheat, 1 pound of black patent malt, 1 pound of flaked oats, 1 pound of Crystal 60, 12 ounces of Victory malt, 8 ounces of chocolate malt, 8 ounces of roast barley, 8 ounces of honey malt, and 4 ounces of carapils. The hop schedule is 3 ounces of Mosaic, 1 ounce of Phoenix, first wort hop, quarter each of those at 30 minutes, quarter each of those at 15, at 5 minutes 1 ounce of Mosaic. Then I'm going to whirlpool 1.25 Mosaic and 0.25 Phoenix for 20 minutes, and that is the hop schedule. And then I had to use the Cali yeast, so I used the Y Yeast 1056 Chico California strain, a 1 smack pack made into a 2-liter starter. There's that. And I'm also going to put 6 Madagascar vanilla beans in the primary, leave it for 3 weeks, then I'm going to rack it over to secondary and put it on 4 ounces of cocoa nibs. And this is going to be a vanilla chocolate oatmeal stout. And that is my timer beeping to let me know that my mash tun is heated up. So let's pour the grains in, get it stirred in, dough in, and check our temperature. Okay, I'm mashing in at 155, or actually 154. I did the probe thermometer and it was bouncing between 153.5 and 155. As a backup, or just to basically double check, I use the submersible thermometer, and it looks like it's sitting about dead between 154 and 155. So that looks like it's about where it needs to be. And I'm just going to leave that one in there. Alright, we're getting ready to mash. Going to do a 90-minute mash since I got oats, so I get full conversion. Look at that beautiful color. And this stuff smells awesome. You can smell chocolate and the roasted barley, picking up the oats a little bit. Let's get this thing cleared off here. Want all my little granules in there mashing. Alright. Going to cover that baby up, put it on there for 90 minutes, and then we will start sparging out. And I'll be back when I get ready to collect my first wort and I do first wort hopping. Okay, got the mash out done. I'm getting ready to start doing my Vorloff. Here's my setup. Something new I'm doing today. Instead of just ladling it in, I'm going to go ahead and do, I've got my sparge water heated up inside that bucket. Then the valve's actually on this side. And it runs through this hose into the top of this roaster pan with holes punched in the bottom of it. And we'll be doing fly sparging. And then we're getting ready to do the Vorloft. And I got the bowl kettle down there, and here is my 2-liter container, and I'll run about 6 liters through that, pour it back into that, and then once it starts running clear, I'll go ahead and turn on the sparge water and then collect my wort. Okay, started collecting our first run-ins, and this is what it looks like. This is kind of an opaque container, so you can't hardly see through it, or smoked. So I'll pour a little bit in the pan here and let you check it out. And this stuff is black. This is the 3rd pitcher, so 6 liters. I'm going to run it on through. Looks like it's running fairly clear. Clear as you can see, it's going around being black. And then I will go ahead and put my 1/4 ounce of Mosaic and 1/4 ounce of UK Phoenix. in this. Now I went ahead and switched the small pot out, so what I usually do is I usually just label it in and then collect it in my fermenter bucket because it's got the marks on the side so I can see how much I got. So I'm going to go ahead and collect it in this one, and then when all the sparge water runs out of that and it's in the mash tun, then I'll go ahead and swap the small pot out for that one, then dump what I've collected in here in there so I can go ahead and do an accurate measurement of how much I've collected. I've got another fermenter bucket I could do it with, but I don't want to dirty it up, and that's what I'm going to use ferment in. So there's no point in dirtying up any more than you have to. So once all the water, there's only like 2 gallons of sparge water in this because that's all I had to collect to get 7 gallons. So I will, once this gets right below the top of the grain bed, it's still up pretty high, I'll go ahead and turn the sparge water on and start sparging out. And then I will be putting 1/4 ounce, like I said, 1/4 ounce of UK Phoenix. I haven't measured them out yet, but there's my UK Phoenix. And read up on this one, it's supposed to have like molasses, chocolate, and some fruity notes, so I thought that would go good in the oatmeal stout. And then to go with the mosaic, which is like super fruity, tropical fruit, all kinds of real nice. It's more of an IPA hop, but I was just playing around with it and making a nice tasty stout, oatmeal stout. So I'm going to go ahead and divvy up my hops and put them in, and then I will be back in a minute. Okay, enjoying a Narwhal Sierra Nevada Imperial Stout. Good stuff. Appropriate since I am brewing a stout. And I've got the first 1/4 ounce of each Mosaic and Phoenix in already. Got the sparge run through, and then I got switched over here to the bucket. And smell-o-vision action. Yummy, yummy. Smells awesome. And just collecting the wort. And then here is that's first wort hopping. This will be the 30-minute. This will be the 15. And then I will have a 1 1/4. So I add another quarter, or no, that's half ounce or 1/4 ounce of Mosaic, 1/4 ounce of Phoenix there. So add another ounce of Mosaic. So that will be the 20-minute whirlpool there, because the Phoenix goes in at first wort hopping 30 and 15, and then doesn't go in until flame out, the last 1/4 ounce. So that's the 30, that's the 15. Then the 5 will be 1 ounce of Mosaic. Then at flame out there will be 1 1/4 ounce of Mosaic and 1/4 ounce of Phoenix. Rock and roll. Alright, what I'm going to do is when I hit 4 gallons, so I'm at about a little over 3.5, I'm going to go ahead and put that in the boil pot. The big one, fire it up so it can go ahead and be coming up to a boil. And then I'll collect the other 3. Whatever collects in that one while I'm pouring it in, I'll just dump back in there, and then I can collect 3 more gallons in the fermenter bucket, and then just pour that in, top the pot up, and then that will help speed up the boil. That's a trick. So instead of just waiting and collecting, obviously you can't collect 7 gallons in that bucket and then safely pour it in anyway, so you're going to have to split up the amount that you're collecting, unless you collect the whole 7 gallons in your brew pot, and then you've got to pick up 7 gallons of wort plus the big heavy ass pot, which is not a good idea in itself either. So it looks like I'm about to hit 4 gallons here, so I'm going to go ahead and swap the hose off into the small kettle, pour what's in the fermenter bucket into the kettle on the stove, fire it up, then come back, switch them back over, and finish collecting. And you can see the wort is super clear. Okay, here's 4 gallons in the pot. Got it on high, just have transferred it over. And then we'll come back over here, and I'll spin this around here where I can see the marks. Alright, and minimal spillage. You're going to spill a little bit, that's just part of it. But once that hits 3 gallons, I'll dump the rest of that in, and we'll come up to a rolling boil. We'll boil for 30 minutes, and then we'll do our first drop because I'm doing a 60-minute boil. And like I say, we'll do 30 minutes boil because we're doing first wort. And what first wort hopping does is it imparts a really nice, smooth bittering to your beer without much harshness, because it goes in at like, you know, 165 to 170. It's almost kind of like whirlpooling when you cool it off, except for you're going to boil it after you do it. And I've done it before and I had real good results with it, and I like it. And it's just a good way to put a lot of bittering into your beer that's smooth and not harsh. Since this is an oatmeal stout, not something like an IPA or a double IPA or Russian Imperial Stout, we're not looking for gigantic bittering. We're capped off at 45 IBUs on this beer, and I put it right at 45 IBUs. So this one's going to be at the top of the mark, but it shouldn't be hop dominated. It'll just have a lot of flavor, but the malts will still shine through really well on it too. So that's kind of what we was going for on this challenge. I think SJ's capped us off so everybody couldn't turn in an IPA or a double, which is probably what most people would have done. But it's good to make other kinds of beers too. I mean, you can't just be stuck on IPAs all the time, although I wouldn't mind it too much if I was. Anyway, I will finish collecting my wort here, and I got the boil kettle bringing this 4 gallons up to a boil, and once we collect the other 3, we'll be rocking and rolling. I'll be back in a bit. Alright, we got our 7 gallons collected, and we're up to a boil. I put it on 30 minutes, about quite 3 minutes ago. And it's already got a 1/4 ounce each of Mosaic and UK Phoenix in there. And then we will be doing the rest of these drops at 30 minutes. It gets another 1/4 of each. And then at 15, another 1/4 of each with Whirlfloc and yeast nutrient. And then at 5 minutes, 1 ounce of Mosaic. And then at flame out for 20 minutes, it gets 1¼ ounce of Mosaic and 1/4 ounce of Phoenix. And that's it. And we're rolling. Okay, we are wrapped up. Looks like we hit about 1069. That was without any adjustment. So it looks like it's probably going to be about 1070. This is at 68 degrees. Nice cold North Carolina water coming out of the tap. Cold enough to make your hands burn. One good thing about it, I'm going to miss that when the summer rolls around. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like it's sitting right on 1069, so probably about 1070. It's actually got a little over efficiency. And we are racking this beautiful blackness. There you can see what it's going to be like for color. Black. And that's it. We actually overshot our numbers, so good news on that. And that's going to wrap up the SJ Porr Oatmeal Stout. Looking forward to checking it out. Smelled totally awesome while it was cooking. First time, I can't remember if I'd used those Phoenix before or not. I'd had them for a while, so it was like, need to go ahead and use them, so I threw them in there. And the Mosaic, of course, and you already know I like those. But this thing's looking good, and we're going to go ahead and transfer this baby over, pitch the yeast, rig up a blow-off tube, and then keep an eye on it tomorrow. And then that will be it. I hope everybody had a good week. Happy Homebrew Wednesday, and I will see you later. Oh yeah, one other thing real quick. I got my dragon's milk tap, so I'm going to show you. You just walk back here with me. It's actually so big, and the Sierra Nevada one was so big that I had to move the one from the Sierra Nevada one out of the middle because they were hitting each other. So I've got a little shorty in the middle, and then I've got my dragon's milk, and Sierra Nevada. Got the Dragon's Milk there. New Holland Brewery. Dragon's Milk Ale. It's a kick-ass beer if you haven't never had it. And then I got the little short one in the middle now. And I moved the Pale Ale over here. And you can see they're pretty damn close to each other where they were at. I had the Pale Ale in the middle, and it was the Dragon's Milk tap was actually hitting it. So I may just leave it like this or get like a little short custom one to put in the middle. I'll be changing these things around a little bit anyway. And then I've got the dry erase board here. Yeah. Pin there. So I'm going to hang that up on the wall back here. But anyway, there's my taps. So that's it. And you can see the STC 1000 percolating along. I don't have my draft lines hooked up yet, but I do have some tasty beverages in here, or not fermenting, but carbing. You can see everything. I've got 2 out of the 3 in here. I've got the gas lines hooked up, carbing them up real good. Got the cider, 8%, and the Puka's Pale Ale, the Mosaic, Citra, and Cascade. And then there's my lines. I'll be hooking those up soon. Leak testing them and everything. A little quick shot of that. We'll be drinking some brewskis out of this thing in a few days. And here's the next morning about 8 o'clock. It's alive. Got some good bubblage going on. It's the sounds you want to hear after a brew day. Sounds of successful fermentation. And you guys have a happy Homebrew Wednesday, and I'll see you next week. Cheers.